Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks. Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Continuing Education, Certificate Programs, Certificate in Apparel Merchandising, CAPMER, BHC 05 Basics of Apparel Industry and Entrepreneurship, Block -3, Unit-8, Market Segmentation, Targeting and Positioning. 8.0 Objectives. In order to grow your business, you need to sell your product, but everyone can't be your customer. Requirements and demands differ from individual to individual. This forms the basis of the concept of market segmentation, targeting and positioning, STP, meaning discovering your customers and targeting them. This unit aims to acquaint you with the concept of STP, and after studying this unit you should be able to understand the importance of segmenting the market into subunits to better serve the consumers. Identify the basis for segmenting the market. Extract the most target market keeping in mind the constraints, and develop positioning strategies for the specific target markets. 8.1 Introduction. As we have already browsed through some information about the structure of apparel industry in Block 1 of this course, we are now in a position to start thinking logically about how apparel businesses work. Businesses may not be able to satisfy all of their customers every time, as customers do not have identical preferences. Hence, they tend to break the market into segments in order to direct their focus towards the most valuable market segments. By segmenting the market, targeting the right customers and properly positioning the products, the business can grow at a much faster pace. They may adopt different marketing strategies and promotional tactics to suit the requirements of individual consumers. This unit explains the three-step STP process that will serve as the prerequisites for the upcoming units and blocks and will help to develop focus on the areas for business development. 8.2 Concept of Market Segmentation, Target Markets and Market Positioning. Segmentation, targeting and positioning together comprise a three-stage process. 1. Determine which kinds of customers exist, then 2. Select which ones we are best off trying to serve, and, finally 3. Implement our segmentation by optimizing our products/services for that segment and communicating that we have made the choice to distinguish ourselves that way. The below-mentioned exhibit, Figure 8.1, will be helpful in creating a logical flow of thought. Figure 8.1, the STP process. Look at the screen for table content. 8.3, the growth, need and importance. As we are witnessing, specialty retail stores have gained much importance and popularity because they cater to a narrowly defined group of consumers determined through the process of market segmentation. Markets comprise of diverse segments of consumers. Market segmentation refers to the process of identifying a group of buyers with similar buying desires and requirements. Segmentation divides the market into groups of people who have similar characteristics. Targeting identifies the group that is most likely to respond to communication messages and therefore be profitable. The marketer with a distinct marketing mix targets each segment. These subsets of consumers are called target markets. Profitability of segments is a decisive factor before targeting any specific segment or more than one segment. Fashion businesses use segmentation to better understand the attitudes, characteristics and behaviors of their consumers to better meet their needs. A mass market is a large group of consumers with similar needs. Segmentation is the first step in a marketing strategy. Once marketers divide the market into various groups, they can then select their targeted segments and design products that suit their requirements. The last step is to create a favorable position in the minds of the target consumers. Appropriate positioning is essential for success of any market offering. 8.4 Basis for Market Segmentation. The first step in developing a segmentation strategy is to identify the base on which the market segmentation is done. There are 4 different types of market segmentation, Figure 8.2, and all of them vary in their implementation in the real world. Let us discuss each one of them in detail. Figure 8.2, Basis for Market Segmentation. Look at the screen for table content. Geographical segmentation. Geographical segmentation divides the people on the basis of geography. The geographical location of the customers will define their needs. The classification is based on the assumption that people living in the same area share similar habits and wants. However, there's a difference in the purchasing patterns of the consumer living in urban, semi-urban, and rural areas. People living in warmer climate wear shorts for longer periods. Contrarily, the coats and jackets are more in demand in the colder parts of the country. Keeping the above facts in mind, the marketer must create differential positioning strategies for consumers belonging to different geographical regions. Regions might imply different countries, different zones within a country, or different cities within a zone. The local values must be studied with care before deciding on the promotional campaigns. Demographic segmentation. Demographic segmentation is the widely used market segmentation. Most companies target the right population for their products. This segmentation is based on statistical characteristics of the population. The demographic segmentation has different variables such as age, gender, income, occupation, religion, race and nationalities, which are divided on the basis of population. For example, Honda Motors is widely known for its deep product portfolio ranging from the value for money segment to high-end segment. Thus, in this case, the segmentation is done on the basis of earnings of people/population. Age is a demographic factor that helps the clothing retailers to determine their consumers. Age is a driving factor in business strategies. Consumers of different ages have different needs. Many clothing manufacturers target teenage girls while others may target infants and toddlers. Strategies and actions must be planned to target audiences' age in order to be effective. The largest age group, and often most targeted for apparels, is roughly 20 to 45 years. This group represents the majority of population in all countries on an average. The exact percentage might vary from time to time. The rationale behind this basis for segmentation is that the time period during which a consumer is born creates a bond with many others born during the same time period. These groups are called age cohorts because they have grown up with others with similar, if not the same, experiences. Gender, second only to age, gender, sexual identity, is the most popular statistic used to segment the populations. The retailers who run small businesses make frequent use of gender segments. A small independent department store may sell clothing line for both men and women, whereas a department store usually focuses upon the season. Men's shorts, for example, would primarily be sold in the spring and summer. Fashion and apparel businesses have long used gender segmentation as a prerequisite for product launch for majority of the products. As an exception, few unisex products and categories can be noticed in the market which are promoted irrespective of gender. Traditional marketers have made distinctions between female and male-dominated consumers and created campaigns to attract identified gender. Although these distinctions are diminishing with time across several product categories, the space for segmentation still remains one of the major drivers in apparel industry, as the male and female anatomy would remain different till the end of time. Look at the screen for table content. Figure 8.3 Indicative Price Segmentation. Income. Businesses often look at household incomes to make generalization about the members of the household. An individual's personal income is comprised of disposable income, either money available after deductions in the form of taxes, and discretionary income, i.e. money available after deducting expenses on necessities such as staple food and housing from the disposable income. Pricing strategies are configured after considering the discretionary income of target households. Figure 8.3. Members of society positioned socio-economically between the lower working class and wealthy are considered the middle class. The middle class is determined on the basis of annual household disposable income and is the portion of population grouped around the national average population. Occupation. The occupation of an individual will influence his or her income. Occupation is still considered as the major source of income. Changing occupation trends have influenced the content and media choice of campaigns. Advertisements provide higher degree of technical information to the consumers than ever before. Race, religion and nationality. Race is the biological heritage of an individual. Black is an example of a race with extremely dark skin colors. The advertisers divide the market by race, religion and nationality. For example, consumers staying in Arab countries are by and large Muslims by religion, therefore an advertising campaign for trying to sell pork-based products in one of these nations would be highly unsuccessful. Retailers who understand the ethnic differences among potential customers are offering product lines that complement the appropriate target market. Psychographic segmentation. Psychological characteristics refer to the inner qualities of a person. For instance, consumers are divided on the basis of their needs and motivations, personality, perceptions, learning, level of involvement, and attitudes. More importantly, in today's scenario, lifestyle patterns have become the most prominent psychographic base for segmentation. Lifestyle patterns need to be traced and followed at a microscopic and minute level to arrive at the consumer buying patterns and how they would react to various promotional messages as well as at the point of purchase. For example, Zara markets itself on the basis of lifestyle. Customers who want differential clothing can visit Zara stores, whereas Arrow markets itself for a premium office wear. Thus, this type of segmentation is mainly based on lifestyle or attitudes, interests and opinions. Behavioral segmentation. Behavioral segmentation is a marketing strategy which is based on consumer buying behavior. It divides the market into a group of customers according to their knowledge and attitude towards the product. For example, teenage girls and women prefer to buy Dove as their soap, whereas Lifebuoy is promoted for sportspersons. Check your progress. 1. Discuss the three-stage process of market segmentation, targeting and positioning. 2. What is market segmentation? Write the various types of segmentation. 3. What do you understand by demographic segmentation? 8.5 SRI Val's model for market segmentation. This model for segmentation was developed in 1978 by SRI consultants. It is a popular psychographic segmentation tool. VAL stands for values, attitudes, and lifestyles. The basic theory behind VALs is that people express their personalities through their behaviors. Figure 8.4 SRI VAL's model. Look at the screen for table content. The original VAL system was built by consumer futurist Arnold Mitchell to explain the changing values and lifestyles in the 1970s in the United States. The Stanford Research Institute, SRI, refined the research tool and now uses VALs to help businesses segment on the basis of personality traits. VALs has identified 8 distinct personality types: innovators, thinkers, achievers, experiencers, believers, strivers, makers, and survivors. The personality traits are the motivation, the cause, buying behavior becomes the effect, the observable. This model can be understood with the help of the framework as given above, Fig.8.4. The entire population is divided on the basis of 3 primary motivations, i.e. ideals, achievement, and self-expression. These 3 primary motivations, when coupled with the available resources, majorly financial, and innovation, gives rise to 8 distinct categories of consumers. It can also be visualized as a 2-dimensional graph with 2 axes, eye level, a type of motivation on the horizontal axis, and the level of resources and innovation on the vertical axis. Also, it should be noted that, as the financial resources keep increasing, a consumer moves vertically and acquires a higher position among the 8 distinct categories. For example, it can be inferred that a believer can turn into a thinker if a higher level of financial resources and subsequently, higher level of innovation is attained. Innovators have the highest amount of resources and innovation. Survivors have the least resources and innovation. Thinkers, achievers, and experiencers have appreciable resources and innovation. These 3 categories of consumers have comparable resources and innovation level. Similarly, believers, strivers and makers have comparable resources and innovation level, but this level is relatively lower as compared to thinkers, achievers, and experiencers, respectively. Many companies use VALs to segment the markets for promotional purposes. VALs is one of the most widely used psychographic segmentation tools used by researchers. 8.6 Understanding the needs and wants of the target market. This step calls for analyzing and developing understanding regarding the attractiveness of the identified segments and then selecting target segments on the basis of the attractiveness. The target market is right in front of the manufacturer, wholesaler, or a retailer. It is there to receive, but there should be a right key to unlock the hidden potential of selling product to the consumer. How to find out as what the customers, target market, want. Following are the few steps on how to gather information on the target market so there could be a better understanding of the needs, wants of the consumer. A brief demographic breakdown of the customers should be done on the basis of age, gender, income, occupation, religion, race, and nationality. They should also check for the clothing preferences and recognize trend of buying behavior of consumers which is relevant to the business. To analyze customer relationship with the company or the brand, if the company is launching another product in the same segment or in a different segment. To understand the purchasing pattern of the consumers, whether it is over the counter, online or through catalog. This will provide insights into the customers' buying habits and will give ideas for a good sale. Customer feedback about the product and the services of the company. Apart from the above, the evaluation of the market segments can be done on the basis of segment size and growth, segment structural attractiveness, level of competition, substitute products, power of buyers, powerful suppliers, company objectives and resources. It is to be noted that, due to a lot of constraints, especially financial ones, not all segments can be targeted by a single establishment. Therefore, they have to pick and target only those segments which have bright prospects and which can create scope for business growth in future. It is also to be noted that not all consumer segments can be targeted through a single product or product line. Different segments would have different product needs and different promotion needs as well. In-text activity 1. Assume that you are launching a new brand for expectant mothers. How would you gather information on the needs and wants of the consumer? 8.7. Positioning a challenge. Positioning implies creating a unique and favorable position in the minds of the consumers. This unique and favorable position creates an urge inside the consumers' minds to explore the new offerings. For example, no matter what it is, you can find it on eBay and Amazon, apni dukaan. This process involves speculation what the consumers will like and what they will dislike. These liking and disliking primarily include product features and attributes. Likings and disliking also need to be considered from the point of view of communication and promotion. The product launch or extension should be communicated in such a way that the consumers feel motivated to try it out. The businesses strive to incorporate those features and then communicate the uniqueness through their communication mix, which predominantly includes advertisement campaigns. The advertisement campaigns help to reinforce the positioning strategy and the consequent positioning statements as developed. The end result of positioning is the successful creation of a customer-focused value proposition, a reason why the target market should buy the product. A part of positioning can also be defined as the place or position the product is intended to occupy in consumers' minds relative to competing products. It is typically defined by consumers on the basis of important attributes. It involves implanting the brand's unique benefits and differentiation in the customer's mind. In-text activity 2. Targeting and positioning. Study the positioning of the following brands in the market: Fab India, Biba and Levi's. Perceptual mapping. It is graphics technique used by marketers that attempts to visually display the perceptions of customers or potential customers. Typically, the position of a product line, brand, or company is displayed relative to their competition. What perceptual mapping does is to represent consumer perceptions in, usually, two-dimensional space so that the manager can readily see where his own brand is positioned in the mind of his prospect and in relation to other brands. Perceptual mapping involves mapping how consumers perceive the similarity and dissimilarity between a set of competing brands or products. The closer two brands are in a perceptual map, the more they are perceived to be similar. The farther away any two brands are in the map, the more dissimilar they are perceived to be. The dimensions of the perceptual map are used to understand the attributes consumers use to compare brands. An example of perceptual mapping is exhibited below in Figure 8.5. Figure 8.5, Perceptual Mapping. Look at the screen for table content. Uses of perceptual mapping. 1. Overall analysis. Product maps identify which products, companies or services compete in a market. Maps provide a clear description of the structure of a market and suggest possible segmentation strategies. 2. Identifying product weaknesses. Maps show how products are viewed or rated on specific attributes or dimensions. Analysis of maps can identify weaknesses on attributes and suggest new advertising and/or positioning strategies. 3. Concept development and evaluation. Proposed new product concepts can be developed and evaluated by examining how they stack up against existing products. 4. Tracking consumer perceptions. Product mapping is an ideal way to track shifts in consumer perceptions of products or services over time. 5. Identifying differences among groups. The marketers may want to determine whether distinct groups of people, i.e. users versus non-users, men versus women, perceive the products differently. Product mapping is an excellent way to determine if differences exist between the perceptions of distinct groups. In today's complex business environment, positioning poses a lot of challenges for businesses. Appropriate positioning strategies play an essential and significant role in scripting success stories for businesses. An effective positioning strategy and the consequent positioning statements help to develop significant interest and motivation levels in the target consumers' minds. However, it is far easier to read about positioning theories than to actually develop and execute strategies. Human mind is the most complex thing to read, and for developing successful positioning strategies, the companies face the toughest task to read human minds. They have to get into the consumer's shoes to do so. Or in most cases, they simply predict the consumer's reaction to promotion campaigns. In many cases, these predictions do not turn out to be fruitful, and all the calculations turn out to be mistaken. There is no sure shot method to be followed to ensure successful positioning. It still remains a game of speculations. A major portion of business startups and a large number of new product launches fail due to wrong positioning, i.e., a mismatch with the actual consumer perceptions. Primary research in the form of consumer surveys, focus group interviews, and observation techniques can be used and utilized to reduce and minimize the risk factor involved in developing positioning strategies. 8.8 Let us sum up. STP, segmentation, targeting and positioning, is a set of essential activities which needs to be carried out sequentially, and its efficiency contributes to the success of any business. These activities become the building blocks for any business startup or existing business expansion into new product categories. It also plays a major role in new product developments and existing product modifications. All product launch and modifications need to be well planned to ensure relevant positioning in the target markets. Segmentation has become an inevitable component for any product launch or new business startup. Niche marketing is today's mantra. Market segments are becoming more specific, and sub-segments are being carved out of each segment. Specialty stores such as high design, leather bags and accessories for high-end consumers have become a big hit among the consumers. More and more specialty stores are coming up in the 21st century retail expansion. People are progressively differing from each other in their tastes and preferences, and everyone is trying to carve its own identity. Individualism is the new phenomenon. People are deviating from group behavior and gradually moving towards individualism at marketplaces. This poses a massive challenge for retailers to anticipate consumer behavior. At the same time, it opens enormous opportunities for entrepreneurs. 8.9 Keywords. Niche market, a subset of the market focused on a very specific product line. Primary research, it is an integral part of market research. Primary research includes primary data collection, data analysis and interpretation. Marketing mix, the marketing mix refers to the set of tactics, price, product, promotion and place that are used by a company to promote its brand or product in the market. Specialty stores, those retail stores which cater to a very narrow or specific group of consumer needs. For example, stores which sell only men's ties. Value proposition, it implies proposing the values offered in a product or a product line by a business. It is usually communicated with the help of companies' advertisement campaigns. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.